Hey, my name is Dr. Brad Chuck, and I am one of the co-founders with Charlie Miller here at Org Vitals. And part of what I do here at the company is I dig into the data science of the house. What is the data telling us? What are the trends that we're beginning to see, and what can we leverage right now to add value back into your practice so that when you go into work with clients, you know that you can lean into the evidence-based practice, the data insights that you're getting from Org Vitals and using our platform. So as we get ready to launch version 2, we took a look at what did version 1 tell us, and kind of what is the state of culture right now. What are the data insights that we can give you back today about the state of culture and how are employees feeling, particularly in a place of reentry and reintegration as we get ready to go back and fold back into kind of the physical workplace. Not surprisingly, one of the things that jumped off the page for me this morning as I ran some of the data models were that more than 60% of the participants in our pilot suggested that they were moderately to highly stressed. Now, not surprising given the state of the economy, given the state of work right now, maybe even given the state of uncertainty in the world. But when it comes to work, we wanted to know, well, what can organizations really do from an evidence-based perspective to really mitigate and help with those levels of stress? So we dove into that data. And what we found was that when an employee suggested that they were more engaged with their work, that they were highly engaged, cognitively engaged, but also emotionally and physically engaged, that they were less likely to report high levels of stress. In fact, there was a pretty strong correlation between those two variables. And as employees suggested that they were more engaged, they were also able to mitigate those chronic stressors that were present maybe in their work life, but also maybe in their personal life. And so we wanted to know, well, so what can an organization do about really driving employee engagement right now? And the state of engagement has changed and the state of culture has changed. And so it's really important to take maybe a case by case and maybe a data run by data run approach to this idea of employee engagement, because as the world changes and as the economy changes and as the context of work changes, the levers around employee engagement may also change. And so we wanted to find out what is driving employee engagement today. And here's what we found: that there were two things that really drove this idea of employee engagement, and they were belonging and purpose. Look, the degree that someone felt like they were not only fit, this was a job fit or an organizational fit, but they belonged within the fabric of the community of the workforce that they were doing today, the teams that they were on, and within the organizations that they work for, they were more likely to report that they were really highly engaged. And the second was this idea of purpose. This is about doing work that has meaning, that has value, and there's a line of sight to the outcome. And so to the degree that organizations are able to drive belonging and purpose within their community and within their culture, they're more likely to have employees who are highly engaged, but also able to mitigate stressful situations. And so from a really practical level, we dug deeper and we wanted to know, well, what can we tell organizations today? What can we offer to you that you might be able to walk into a client next week or the week after and really dive into this idea of culture? And there were three things on a practical level that we wanted to share with you today. The first is the idea of inclusion. When employees felt like they were included, they were more likely to report high levels of engagement. Look, I tell some of the organizations that I work with all the time that you can have all the really cool fringe benefits in the world. You can have swag, and you can have pool tables and foosball tables, and you can give free food away in the cafeteria. You can walk people's dogs and have free laundry and dry cleaning services. But if I don't feel like I matter here, if I don't feel like I can be included, a part of, none of that stuff really matters. It just falls to the wayside, because at its core, I want to belong. And that's what the data is telling us. The second insight that we can give you on a really practical level is that we're encouraging leadership teams to really lean into and drive a sense of vision and mission, probably more important than ever right now as leaders and companies and teams begin to reintegrate back into the workforce. It's important to really connect authentically back to the vision and mission of a company. What is it at our core that we do? Who are we? What is our vision for the future? And so as people come back into work, we may want to find different ways and unique ways and new ways to help people see that vision, experience, and live into the mission and vision of the company. And then the last thing is this idea of proactive communication. Look, lots of people communicate. Lots of people communicate in frantic ways, and there's emails and gosh, we all have lived through Microsoft Teams meetings and Google Meetups and Hangouts and any other Zoom meetings, any other platform you can think of. And certainly my email has just exploded over the last couple of weeks, and I bet yours has too. Communication isn't about noise, it's about intentionality. And so we're encouraging teams who are getting ready to reintegrate back into the workforce to think deeply about how they're proactively communicating with their team, and then folding in messages around mission and vision, but also inclusion. And so as we think about the state of culture right now, and we dig into our pilot data from our version 1, we think that there are some unique insights that really help drive a proactive and a healthy culture of well-being and engagement and identity and purpose and inclusion. And so look, if you have questions about this data, you want to know more insights, you want to dig into this, please reach out to us at Org Vitals. Let us know how we can help you. You know, our mission here and our vision is to not only help employees go to work, but help employees live better lives through their work. And we believe we can do that through data-driven insights and evidence-based practice. And we cannot wait to partner with you and to work with you and help you help your clients to live into that vision.